Caffeine and Coils, and I'm Deanna.
And I'm Jenny.
And we have a special guest with us today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Anthony Coker with Mingledorf's. I'm a technical service trainer.
How long have you been with Mingledorf's?
For 3 years.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks for coming on with us today.
Thanks for having me here. This is awesome.
So, Dee, what's our hot topic for the day?
Today we are going to talk about NATE certification.
All right, can you tell us what NATE certification is?
Yes, it's continuing education, basically. It's North American Technician Excellence. It's an advanced skill in the trades to just take you to the next level.
Okay, so it's like a certification that sets you above and beyond as an HVAC tech.
I would think so, yes.
Okay.
I would.
So what skills does the NATE certification exam test?
It tests electrical, safety. I mean, it goes over a lot of things like that, the refrigerant cycles. I could go on all day long because there's a lot of stuff there. It's basically, I think a lot of the test is about if they're in the field by themselves and they have to solve a problem by themselves and they can't get a hold of their boss or anyone like that, they actually can, it forces them to think outside and handle the situations, in other words. I think that's what it's overall about, the ultimate end of it.
Okay.
So why is it important?
To me, it's important because it's continuing education. I mean, once they get their foot in the door with it, then it becomes, it's second nature because they have to get credit earned units, basically hours, and re-up every 2 years, I think is what it is.
Okay.
And with that forces them to classes to learn more stuff. So naturally, they're continuing education. So that's the best part about it. It really is.
Okay, so not only does it make them kind of critically think about the problems that they come across in the field, it also probably helps keep them up to date on all the industry changes that we are seeing and continue to see.
It does, definitely. It really does.
How does NATE certification compare to other industry credentials?
Well, they're all critical, okay? Like the EPA, for example. You have to have it. That's your first step into the industry, period, no matter what.
Yeah, we got
I was going to say,
yeah, no, that's awesome. That was
certified.
awesome too. But that's you have to have that. That's a must-have. After that, though, I mean, NATE isn't a must-have. It's something that you want. You want. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things that you should thrive for because that's what it's all about. It's learning more, making your life easier in the field, and helping others. You know, and that's the key. If you have it down in here, the rest of it's a piece of cake.
Awesome. So what are the main specialty areas of NATE? Like what specifically does it cover?
Well, the main test that you have to take no matter what test you take is core. And then after that, and that basically covers all your preliminary stuff. After that, then there's specialty exams, which could be AC, heat pump, gas heating, it could be air distribution. There's a bunch of other tests, and ultimately you work your way up to senior level exam, basically, which is the high end one.
Bonus question: which of the exams do you think me and Deanna could pass?
Hey, listen, smart as y'all are, any one of them, I'm staying out of that one.
That's such a safe answer. What is
honestly,
answer?
honestly, you could do any one you want to, for real. I really believe that. It's just a matter of studying, honestly. No, I mean, it is. It's just about studying. I mean, ultimately, when you take those questions are basically to make sure you understand the basics. And that's why I call it entry level. I don't mean that mean in the sense of its aspect. It's the fact, the driver's license, here we go. That means you're legal to drive. It doesn't mean you can drive. So I'm trying to say with an HVAC industry, the NATE, I mean, that's honest. The NATE, it basically, when you take those credentials, it's getting your foot in the door for continuing education. That's why I look at it. I mean, I really do. It's awesome. I mean, it is. It really is great to take that. It is.
And we mainly do heat pump as our specialty, right? We have other opportunities, but that's
the number one. Yes, that with core, that gets them in the door, and I could, not the questions, I get it.
So, does NATE certification impact job opportunities and pay rates?
Yeah, so technically when they do this class, they usually all get a pay raise because what they can do is NATE inspections, which with NATE inspections, they can go out and check equipment. When it's installed, it's brand spanking new. They can verify that everything's working and where it's working at. So that way, if they have problems later on down the line in the future, they can actually look at it and see the data and realize what the issue is and fix it. So it makes it nice.
So when you go to get NATE certified, what is the testing process like? Is it similar to the EPA tests? Because we've talked about that.
Well, the EPA, I mean, as far as the testing goes, it's a little more rigorous than the EPA. And what I mean by that is the EPA is a lot of talking through the day, couple hours on the test. The NATE is crunched into 2 days because there's 2 tests. So we can't beat them up with, with all the questions at one time because it's brutal. It really is. So what we do is we divide it up pretty well into 2 days, and it's lecture for 4 hours. Then they have basically a break in between there. They have their lunch break, and then after lunch, then we take the exam and stuff like that. The first day is an 1.5 hour exam. The second day for heat pump is 2 hours. So it goes from 50 questions to 100. And that's the one that's stressful. It's not the fact that the questions are hard. It's the time they spend looking at that paper.
Is it timed? Do they only have a certain amount of time?
Yes, they have a certain amount of time,
Yeah,
and
that
that's the
sounds
thing that's tough. Yes.
100 questions?
Yes,
That's a lot.
And it is. And truthfully, if you weren't timed, and that was my thing, I'm not a test taker. I'm just straight with everybody. I'm not a test taker. I get nervous taking tests myself. In fact, Howie gave me my test, that was pretty awesome. But in that, he made me feel comfortable with the test, and that's what I try to do with the technicians too, because ultimately, they're in there and they're stressing out, and it's just a test, and I try to make sure that they're comfortable and they relax and don't let it bother them as much, because it takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
But it's so worth it afterwards, though. You know what I'm saying? It's ultimate afterwards,
We kind of mentioned it already, but let's reiterate how often a technician needs to renew their NATE certification.
And they're supposed to basically do it every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the fee off the top of my head. I should know that, but I don't. But it's not an extension.
Yeah, I think it's like 20
bucks. That's what I was thinking.
yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And it's every 2 years, and they have to have 16 credit hours. So basically what we do, or what they usually do, if they come to these service update classes, we have one in fall and spring for both years, and that gives them their 16 hours because there's 4 hours per class.
Mm-hmm.
If they can't, then there's other classes, Howie's weekend classes and stuff like that he does and stuff. And there's other ways to do it too, but that's pretty well it.
So what does it involve? Do you have to just attend the class, or do you have to retest? Is there a miniature test? What does that look like?
No retest if you pass it. But if you do not update every 2 years, then you lose it and you have to redo the whole
Oh, so
thing
you have to
again.
start completely
so
over.
yes, so
Okay.
that's the thing. You want to keep your hours up. That's now you see why it's
Yeah.
a specialty, because it forces you to continue an education.
Yeah.
So it's worth it.
And it definitely, those update classes cover all of, industry updates and equipment updates and refrigerant and all that stuff. So
Yep.
that makes total sense.
And you pretty much just log in to your NATE thing online and say that you did your continuing education hours, right?
Actually, I believe that is what they do is when they sign the roster, from my understanding, the roster gets turned in, and their IDs, if they're on the roster, are automatically put into the computer for that, and
Yeah.
that's how it gets updated, I believe.
Okay.
Well, we'll notify NATE that they did their hours, but they still have to go in and renew and pay the fee.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
you're asking. I'm sorry.
So there's
yes.
a 2-step process. So you got to attend the class to make sure your name ends up on the roster.
Right.
And then you have to go in and pay the fee.
Right,
So-
and then pay the fee, and
Yeah.
you don't pay the fee unless you have your time in, because that's what they're checking on.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So it's technically the technician's responsibility too to get in there and check that. And thanks for mentioning that. Right,
Yeah.
that they've got their hours in, because if they don't, they need to correct that before
Yeah.
they pay their
Yeah.
fee.
That
and
is a
stuff like
mistake
that.
I think they make, is they're like, well, I went to the class, I put my NATE ID down. Why is my NATE certification not renewed? Well, it's because you have to go in and pay the fee.
Right. Yep. And that's
That
what
part's
I'm
not
saying.
Yeah,
automatic.
that's a pro tip right there. Make sure you're going in after you got your hours in and paying your fee.
So what advice would you give to someone that is preparing to take their first NATE exam?
Just study. They get their information in advance for preparatory, and if they just study, they'll be fine. And because like I said, I'm going to break the environment in when they come into the classroom. I'm going to make sure they're comfortable. I'm going to try my best. They get donuts for breakfast and coffee, drinks, whatever it may be, and stuff to kind of ease them into it and stuff like that. And I usually go over a little spill and stuff that I talk to them about with me, personal life experiences and stuff like that and all, so they understand where I'm coming from in it, and that tends to lighten the classroom up. After that, then it's usually pretty smooth, but it's a ease moment.
Okay.
That's good advice. I think that's good that they get the study material in advance, because I don't know about you, but I had to study the study guide for the EPA exam.
Of course.
So I would probably be in the same boat. I mean, of course, these guys are working with this stuff every day, so they're
Yeah.
probably not quite as green as we are, but that's good advice for sure. What part of the exam do people mostly struggle on? Is it the heat pump part or the AC part? Which part is the
Actually,
hardest?
which is kind of odd, and I'm still not 100% certain on this one, because when I look at the questions and think about it, I think the core is the hardest one for them. And I don't know why, because I thought it would be the heat pump, the questions that they're asking there and all, right? But with the core, I think what it is, maybe it's because it's day one, their first day taking the test. You get what I'm trying to say? And since it's the first one, I think they struggle from the pressure until they realize it's not as bad, and they do fine.
Now that I think about it, I think I probably had the lowest score on the core part of the EPA exam too.
But you know something? Here's the perk, right? They don't go by your score.
Yeah,
You either
Yeah.
pass or
you
fail,
pass
right?
or fail. Yeah,
So
you're right.
the
Yeah.
person that made 100 and you, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You're both certified. That's the key, right?
Is it like 70% and up? Is that
Is that the
Passing?
Yeah,
pass
pretty
fail?
well,
Yeah.
what would you say is your favorite part about teaching Nate preparatory classes?
My favorite part is because I love to learn. I love to teach. I love to learn. I love to simplify everything. That's probably a downfall on me is because I like to simplify things. I don't like complication. I don't like manuals this thick. I like 3 pages that tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
I like it like that. I really do. So when I teach the classrooms, I try to simplify things like that and help them find ways to remember everything that they do in the classroom. In other words, so that if they struggle with the refrigeration cycle, even if they've taken the EPA, you would be amazed. Well, you need that refresher course. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I go through all this stuff, and I tell everybody in the classroom that even if you're working with your coworkers, don't be calling them out. This is a class and this is a place to learn. So, because when you go back out in the field, you're going to be busy again. You get the idea. So, I'm honestly, that's why I teach them in the classroom. And when they finally loosen up with that, then they realize they don't give each other a hard time. They start asking questions, and then I can answer them, and then it makes it a lot better. But I just love helping them get to that next level.
Okay, well, that's all the Nate questions we have for you today. So now we're going to move on to our fun little ender game. I hope you've watched an episode of Caffeine and Coils before, but if you haven't,
I have, but I don't remember the games.
okay.
Well, it changes
I
each
should have
time.
watched one last night.
Listen,
Yeah.
it changes each time, so
Yeah.
you wouldn't have been able to prepare. We
Oh,
don't
okay,
give you a
okay.
study guide,
No,
unfortunately, for
this
you.
is a surprise. It makes it more fun. Okay, so this is like Family Feud, fast money questions. So I'm going to ask you guys a question, and you just blurt out the answer, okay?
Okay.
Name a reason people prefer summer to winter.
It's warmer.
Swimming.
Actually, Anthony wins that one.
Oh,
warmer.
darn.
Yeah, warmer was
Okay.
was higher up on the list. Okay.
Oh, so it's rated. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it is
okay,
rated.
In that
Okay.
round, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Besides eating lunch, name something that people do during their lunch hour.
Nap.
I was thinking.
I wish I could nap on my lunch hour.
Okay, so an eye for an eye is one expression that contains the word I. Name another. So what's a saying or an expression that contains the word I?
This is
Eye of
the
the tiger?
hardest question. Eye of the tiger? That's a good one. I don't know.
That is a good one, but it's not even on here.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know. Pass.
The number one answer is beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Oh my gosh. I would have
And the
never
second
thought.
one
I would've
is
thought that would have-
apple of my eye.
Yeah.
Name
That
the
must have been
most.
some old people answering that question.
Yeah. I think we all experienced
Me
this.
too.
We all experienced this morning. Name the most annoying thing other drivers do on the road.
Cut you off.
Talking on their phone.
Don't
Okay.
say that. I
'Cause
do
they're
that.
looking- or
Listen, I do
texting. I'm
that
sorry.
all the
The
time.
texting and, when they're glued down there.
I feel like every time I'm in the car, I'm like on the phone, but it's a call, so it's hands free. But
Yeah.
That's different. Talking on the phone is not a problem. Yes,
Okay,
I'm talking
okay,
about when they're
texting,
playing.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
more texting, yeah.
So the number one answer is no signal.
Or no
Number
signal.
two answer is cut you off.
okay,
So
yeah,
you kind of you win that round.
yeah.
Number 5 is talking on the phone. So. Okay, name something that is filtered.
Water. Listen, there's the perfect answer in our industry.
Air.
Air.
There's so many, well,
That's
so-
actually the number
there's all
4
bunch of
answer.
That's the number 4. What about water? Water
Refrigerants
has
is
to be-
filtered.
water's
I mean, we
number
could
one.
go on, but I mean,
Okay, yeah.
But you were so fast on that one. It's like,
Water's number 1, coffee's number 2, and cigarettes is number 3.
Oh my gosh, coffee and cigarettes is on it. That's hilarious.
This is probably old.
Yeah, nobody really even smokes anymore. Everybody's just vaping, just sucking on USB drives these days.
Okay, name something you'd find in a chef's salad.
Ham.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna say ham eggs. Is that
Well, the number one answer is lettuce.
I knew that was coming after I thought about it.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
The number
mercy.
2 answer is ham, so you win that
Okay.
one, Anthony.
Oh, man.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to do one more. Give me a name you would call your grandmother.
Grandma.
Nana.
Okay.
Actually, Nana isn't even on here. This is probably not from the South, because I would say Granny.
Or Granny.
I was gonna say Mamaw, but I
Or
was like, that's
Meemaw. Yeah,
probably
there's so
not on
many.
there.
Right, there's so many there.
It's
Right, it's like
Grandma, Mama,
yeah, Meemaw's the new one now.
Yeah,
Mom, and Mima.
Mima.
So
I've
whoever
never
made
heard of
this is
Mima.
not from the South, because we would be like Mimi. I've heard of Mimi. I've heard of Nana.
Yeah, my mom is either Granny or Nanny. My son couldn't say Granny, so she became Nanny, and so now she has 2 grandma names. I don't know.
What do you think about people who want to be called something other than like a Granny Mimi? Like, I know someone who wants to be called Kiki because her name is Kathleen.
Or like Lolly. I've heard Lolly. My sister.
They don't want like an old sounding name because they feel young and spry. They don't want to be called grandma. They're only
Yeah.
40 or 50.
My sister's Yaya.
Some of them use grand dude.
Grand dude. I've never
Serious,
heard
yes.
that.
And I'm G.
Yeah, what are your
I'm
G-paw? I was
Okay,
gonna
so
ask.
my son, his grandmother is Honey. So, and I picked that name for her like forever ago, and I was like, you're gonna be Honey, and she was like, I like it. So we just ran with it. Now she's Honey, and Grandpa is Grumpy. Honey and Grumpy. So
Grumpy?
it was very fitting
hilarious.
for them, though. I'll say that.
That's so cute. Okay. All right, well, that's all we have. Thank you for coming, and thank you for playing with us.
Well, thank you for having me, Fro. I enjoyed it.
Since you're a guest, we'll just say you won. I wasn't actually keeping score.
I'll let you win this time.
Oh, okay, I appreciate that. I
Next
appreciate
episode,
that.
I'm gonna have
Thank
to stomp you.
Okay, that's all we have for you today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe.